All right, hi everybody over at YouTube, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of the lessons at the 7-step system to pass a Toefl IBT. Welcome everybody, and I'll make a little note in the chat here. Let me write this down. So welcome everybody at YouTube to my Toefl IBT live stream. Now, does anybody know what holiday we're celebrating here in the United States today? Martin Luther King holiday, that's what. So I wouldn't have to go to school today. So I'm just hanging out at the house with my family, and I'm going to grade some speaking practice tests right now. All right, that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going to make one more note here. Okay, so part of the purpose of doing a live stream is I don't pay a lot of money for advertising, at least not for Google or whatever. So sometimes I do live stream. I just want to draw attention to the internet to let people know that I have an online Toefl course. And my course is different from a lot of those courses out there because you can complete speaking and writing practice tests, and I will actually give you feedback. And that is what you're going to see in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and check my email now, and I will start grading speaking and writing practice tests from my online Toefl students. All right, so let's go into speaking practice. Let's see what we have. Okay, so my first student of today, this is Nisha. I'm going to listen to her practice test. So let me go ahead and download this one right now.
The speaker is thinking about how the learning can make more fun.
Okay, so the student is doing integrated speaking practice test number 11. So let me talk to her. Hi Nisha, and I am Michael, and I'm going to listen to your integrated speaking practice test number 11. So let's see how you answered this question.
The speaker is thinking about how the learning can make more fun and enjoyable.
Okay.
And he's giving some ideas to make it more enjoyable and fun. The first one he's giving is to make students more interactive, like for example, make him ask questions and make him include in doing things.
Now here's something I want to recommend. So when you're saying your ideas, Nisha, you want to say a sentence, right? And in the sentence you might have 2 or 3 thought groups. When you get to the final thought group, you want to have a pause, your tone drops. So take time. Once you finish an idea, have a short pause, then move on to your next point. It'll be easier to understand what you're saying.
Like giving some work with a pencil like that. And the other thing is more not make them think that they are like.
Now, too much pauses, too many hesitations in there, so you're having some problems with your grammar and your vocabulary. You're not able to explain these things in a fluent manner.
Teacher as a person giving him just a work to do, and the teacher should be considered as same as friends. That is, they could be able to speak to teacher like if in a friendly.
They should be able to
manner, so they can interact more and they listen more and so like this.
All right. So again, you want to put this together. I think you're having some trouble organizing the ideas and also explaining the ideas and having the appropriate pacing as you move from your different points of your response.
The speaker is explaining how it can more interactive and more creatively.
Maybe finally, when you get to the end of your response, maybe saying conclusion, the speaker, blah, 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 whatever. All right, let's take a look at the rubrics. Let's see how you'll score on this one. And thank you for completing this integrated speaking practice test. Okay, I'm opening up the document. So I think on this one, in terms of your delivery, Nisha, I recommend you go to my lessons, pronunciation lessons 41 through 44. These lessons will help you with your thought groups and your blending. Also, you need to work a little bit more on your intonation, I think. And that's pronunciation lessons number 36 through 40. From a language use perspective, like I was saying, as you were speaking, you were having some problems paraphrasing the ideas from the listening passage. So that was also causing problems, probably because of some grammar limitations. So you can take a look at some of the grammar lessons in my course, and for your topic development, check out speaking lesson number 7. Your score here, I'm going to put you to about 2.1 out of 4, 17 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. All right, Nisha, so thank you for completing that. Okay, now I'm going to send her the comments you guys just heard at YouTube. And one thing at YouTube that you guys want to remember when you're doing integrated speaking, integrated writing, remember to put those voice markers. The speaker claims, another point he makes is, and find what the speaker says. So make sure that you're explaining who is saying the information, because it's either coming from a reading passage or it's coming from a lecture, and you want to make it clear who is saying this information. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and email Nisha. Okay, let me go ahead and do that, and we'll move on to the next one. And again, you guys watching at YouTube, what am I doing in this video? I am advertising my online Toefl course. A lot of students want to improve their academic English language proficiency, like Magoosh, like Noteful, like other websites out there. I also have an online Toefl course, and I'm trying to let students see what it is I do and how I help my students. So if you also want to improve your speaking or your writing and you want to get a higher Toefl score, you can go to my website at onlinetoeflcourse.com and learn more about my course. That's kind of what I'm doing. And also during this video, I will give you some tips, and I give my students some tips on how they can improve their Toefl speaking. All right, so let's keep going. Let's see, Jesse Lopez, what do we got? You say, I will take my Toefl on January 27th this year. I took it in 2014. You got 574 points. Is there any 1 week intense course I can take? The answer is no. There's nothing that you can do in 1 week that will make any difference on your Toefl score. Alrighty? Now what you can do is after you take your Toefl test on the 27th, Jesus, if you do not reach your goal and you don't get the score that you need, and I'm guessing if you're taking the IBT, you're probably wanting to get anywhere from 90 to 100, I'm guessing based on your paper-based score of 574. So if you don't reach your goal on January 27th, what you want to do is go back to my website, go to onlinetoeflcourse.com, and you can make a comment over there and say, hey Michael, I took the TOEFL test, here's my score, however, here's a score that I need, how can you help me reach that goal? So that's what you can do. I think that will help in that case. All right? All right, let's move ahead. And thank you for making a comment, Jesus. Okay, I'm going to my next student here. So this is a speaking response from college. So Jesus, what you can do is I think what you're doing right now can be helpful. So as you watch my video, I want you to listen to my students' responses and listen to the kind of feedback I'm giving them, and make sure that you do the things I recommend and do not do the things I do not recommend. So when you take this speaking section of the test, so hopefully just by watching this video today, you should get some pretty good speaking tips. All right? So let's listen to the next one here.
Because I believe that having...
Okay, let's hear what he says. So Khaled here, he's answering, it looks like, independent speaking number 13. So let me take a look at what this topic is for just a minute. All right, it says your friend is nervous because he'll have a job interview. What would you tell him? All right. So then Khaled says this. Actually, let me get the audio started too so I can talk to him. Hi Khaled, this is Michael, and I'm going to listen to your independent speaking practice test number 13.
Because I believe that having a good resume and dressing well is really important in any kind of interview. I would recommend my friend to do that. First of all, I would tell my friend to prepare his resume very well. For example, last year I had an interview.
It's just not, it's not very loud. It's hard for me to hear what you're saying here. Let me go to my control panel and make sure that I have everything turned up. So just system volume, no, everything's turned up. Change system sounds. Let's see. Yeah, everything's working fine. All right, it's just the recording's not very loud. So, okay, let's go back. Okay, here we go. Let me start back in the beginning.
Because I believe that having a good resume and dressing well is really important in any kind of interview. I would recommend my friend to do that. First of all,
Okay, so you're recommending that your friend get a good rest before the job interview, that he's rested.
I would tell my friend to prepare his resume very well. For example, last year I had an interview, and the interviewer asked me a lot about my resume. If I won't prepare well, I wouldn't be able to answer it, and I wouldn't get a chance to get the job that
Okay.
I have now. Second of all, I would also recommend my friend to dress well because it had...
I would put that, I don't think you put that as part of your topic statement. If you want to have 2 support points, put those in the beginning so it's clear what's going to happen. So your second support point is, in addition to getting a good night's rest, you recommend that your friend dress well.
Impression to the interviewer. I quote here, dress to impress is really true in this case.
Okay, so I think one thing I want you to look at, Khaled, go to Google and here are the key words. What is the subjunctive mood in English grammar? Those are your key words. I want you to learn more about that. You avoided that grammar in this kind of speaking response. You could have said, I recommend that my friend get a good night's rest. I recommend that my friend dress well for the interview. So that grammar you're a little bit uncomfortable with, right? So check out that. Go to Google. Okay, let me take a look at the rubrics here so I can give you a score. Okay, let's see. So independent speaking here. I think you did a pretty good job. Overall, you have a pretty good tone, but next time try to make your recording louder, make it easier for me to listen to. So I think overall, pretty good delivery. You are limited, I think, with your language use, specifically as it comes to the subjunctive mood. So that's something I'd like you to work on a little bit more. I think overall, you had a pretty good organization. My main thing is in the beginning, when you do the topic statement, make sure that you incorporate both support points in your response, not just one. Let me listen to it one more time, just the beginning, make sure I'm not mistaken on that.
Because I believe that having a good resume and dressing well is really important in any kind of interview.
Okay, maybe you did mention both of them, so maybe I'm wrong. Let me see.
Because I believe that having a good resume and dressing well is really
So having a good rest and dressing well. So you did say it. So you said your two support points in the beginning, then you illustrated them through the body of your response. So you had a pretty decent organization. I'm going to put you at about 24 to 26 points out of 30 on this practice test, 3.1 to 3.3. And that's probably where you are right now. So if Jesus is watching this is what you want to do for TOEFL speaking. You want to make sure you have a good organization, you have a topic statement in the beginning, then you restate those key points in the body of your response, you give some appropriate examples, then you conclude your speech. So that's a good example, Jesus, of how you can perform, I think, on January 27th when you take the TOEFL IBT exam. And good luck to you. All right, so, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and send this email to Khaled. So I go ahead and send him an email. Then I move on. This is it. So every day is pretty much the same thing. This is why I think a lot of my students are able to reach 26 on the speaking, because they do not just watch a bunch of videos. They actually complete independent and integrated speaking practice tests, and they get feedback from me. So usually, after a student completes maybe 30 or 40 speaking practice tests on my website, they got it. They understand what they need to do to get that high score, right? But it takes time. I have to figure out what their problems are. The students need to become more familiar with their weaknesses. They minimize those things. They follow my suggestions. Their score goes up. That's it. It's simple. The feedback, though, that's the important thing. You want to make sure you're getting feedback from a TOEFL IBT speaking specialist. That's the key. Okay, so I'm done with this one. Okay, we have more. Okay, we have some integrated speaking here. Let me see what we have.
The speaker is thinking about how the learning can make more fun and enjoyable.
Okay, I think I did this one already. Okay, so okay, now I can move on. Now the next step is I'm going to go into my email, and I've searched quickly for all the speaking practice tests and anybody who has joined my course over the last 24 hours. It's like a lot of questions. A lot of speaking practice. Okay, this student completed 2 independent writing practice tests. So I'm going to send this over to my student assistant who will score the writing practice test. Again, my basic rule is students can send me 1 speaking and 1 writing practice test every day, and I will give them feedback on both of those. Okay, let's keep going. All right. Ali just did some speaking practice, so let's see what he's doing here.
Personally, I prefer to ride bicycle for the...
Okay, let me talk to him. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Ali, and I am Michael, and I'm going to listen to, it looks like your independent speaking practice test, number 2 maybe? Or number 7, I guess. Which of the 2 do you prefer when exercising, running or riding a bicycle? So let's hear how you answered this question.
Personally, I prefer to ride bicycle for the following reasons. First, bicycling is very effective to our healthiness. When you are riding a bicycle,
I wouldn't say when you are, I would say when I ride a bicycle or when someone rides a bicycle. So don't use the you point of view in these kinds of speaking tasks. Now another tip, instead of saying I prefer riding a bicycle for the following reasons, that doesn't really limit what you're going to say. Remember, you're trying to focus everything or frame it within about a 45-second response. So be a little more specific in your topic statement on what specific support points you plan to discuss in the essay. Now, for more information on that, Ali, go to speaking lesson number 2. That'll give you some great tips on how you can organize your introduction a little bit better.
body tries to maintain a balance, and so your brain's hemisphere starts sending and receiving some impulses through the neurons. So that is very effective in future diseases prevention such as Parkinson and Alzheimer's. Second, bicycling is more fun than just boring running. You can enjoy the wind hits on your face at the summer's hot weather.
Okay, so probably in those specific points you can do a little bit better job with some of the detail information in your response. But overall, you did give 2 reasons. So let's take a look at the score here. So for independent speaking, I'd like you for delivery to work a little bit more on your intonation. So you can go to pronunciation lessons 36 through 40. I think for language use, I didn't notice any errors, but you can probably be a little more specific in the vocabulary you're using. And that same suggestion goes for topic development. I'm going to put you at about 2.83 out of 4, 22 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. All right? Okay, I'm going to send him my comments right now. Remember, when you do your recordings, if you're not using my course, whatever course you're using, when you're sending the recording to the teacher, make sure it's loud and really try to put some emotion into your voice, because that's showing that you're trying to work on your tone, and that's a very important part, I think, of your delivery. That is your tip right there. And he did not do that very well, that last person that you heard. Okay, let me send him a quick message. Okay, anybody who's just watching at YouTube, I am Michael Buckoff. I'm an online TOEFL course teacher, and I'm grading some of my students' speaking practice tests right now. Now, the purpose of the video is I'm just drawing attention. I just want people to know at YouTube that I do have an online TOEFL course. Magoosh has a course, Toefl has a course, a TOEFL IBT has one, Test 10, and I also have one, just like all those other people. Now, what a lot of those courses don't do, they do not give you feedback like I give you. So I'm trying to show students at YouTube how my course is a little bit different from these other courses, because I do provide feedback to all of my students who complete speaking, pronunciation, and writing practice tests. So you know, if you do decide to join my course, you will get this kind of feedback. All right, let me send this email over to Ali. Okay, we're good. Okay, now we got a whole bunch of things. Wow. We got all kinds of comments over here. What are we doing here? Hold on a minute. Srikanth, it says, I have doubts on grammar as below. When to use could, does, and ought. When to use words like could, does, and ought. Is it the can be used singular and plural clauses, dependent, independent clauses? This question is a little too complicated to answer in this video. I'm going to be honest with you, Srikanth. So I want you to take a minute, go offline, write down your question, but really try to explain it as best you can so I can help you on that. Madhu Kumari, you say, hi Michael, I'm watching your live videos every day. It's really helping me. I have to take the TOEFL test on January 20. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome for that. And Madhu, if you do not reach your goal on January 20, and January 20 is in about 4 days, so after you take the TOEFL test, when you get your results back, if you don't reach your target score, go over to onlinetoeflcourse.com, that's my website, and you can tell me. You can tell me what your goals are, tell me what your TOEFL score is that you got, and where you want to go, and I will recommend a specific study plan to help you improve. All right? Okay, so I think we're okay there. Okay, let's keep going. I got a message at Facebook. Somebody says, hi. What does that mean? Don't do that. If you're going to send me a message at Facebook, don't just say hi, tell me more about you. Hi doesn't do anything. What does that mean? I just deleted the message. It means nothing. All right, let's keep going. Okay, wow. Now, wait a minute. Somebody just made a comment here. It says, I'm so happy to find your website. I have to pass the IBT TOEFL exam. Actually, I want 80 and more score. There's no limit of time, but I'm lost. I don't know where I should start, how I could communicate with you to improve my English language and my accent. What would you suggest? Wow, that is important. You guys, give me a second. So I need to talk to this student for a minute. So I'm going to go over to my website. What am I doing now? If you guys want to see the same comment I'm looking at, let me give you a link. Okay, here. I'm going to put a link over in the chat. If you want to see exactly the same comment I'm looking at right now, so you guys can know what question I'm answering, I'm going to put it right here. Go to onlinetoeflcourse.com to see the comment. I am going to discuss right now. You can check it out. Okay, when to use kinds of words like could, does, and ought. Okay, Shrikant, I'm going to answer your question right now. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, hold on a sec. I'm going to answer this question just quickly here. So let me go to screen capture right now. So the question is, when to use words like could, does, and ought. What I'll do here, I'll give you some sample sentences, see if this makes sense. First of all, words like could, ought, might, may, will, would, and so on. All of these words are modals. These are modals, or modal auxiliary verbs. So typically, Shrikant, when we use modals, what you want to remember is when you have a modal plus, you want to use the base form of the verb, which means you do not want to conjugate the verb. So I might say, I could go to the movies later on if I am not too busy then. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of modals, we put the modal here, it talks about probability, then we have the base form of the verb here. We cannot conjugate the verb after a modal. Now what you also want to look at, which might be important too, is sometimes we have past and we have present forms of these modals. Now let's just say if I take this sentence here. If I said, he said that, so he said that he could go to the movies later on if he wasn't too busy. Right? He said that he could go to the movies later on if he wasn't too busy then. So what I did here is I'm using the word could. It talks about possibility, and I'm also using it to talk about a past kind of paraphrase. Now if I change this into present, I might say this. He says that he can go to the movies later on if he isn't too busy. In this case, I'm saying can go and then isn't, so I'm also talking about possibility, but I'm using it now to report what's called immediate reporting, something just after the present moment. We can sometimes use present tense in those cases. So modals can be used like this. We can use them to talk about present or past actions, and we use them typically to talk about the possibility of things happening. Right? They're pretty complicated, to be honest with you, right? So you have to be really careful and remember that it's not as easy as it looks. Now let's look at the word does. Let's see if we can figure that one out. Again, do plus the base form of the verb. Sometimes someone might say, we have what's called the emphatic do, right? See if I can give you a sentence here. So, Speaker A says this. Speaker A might say, so let's say we have this sentence here. The first speaker says, you should buy a car so that you can travel more freely in the United States. But let's say that Speaker B already has a car. let's say something like this. Okay, this is what I want you to pay attention to. Notice when I use the word do here, I have the base form of the verb after this. I'm using this, it's called the emphatic do. So, you should buy a car so that you can travel more freely in the United States. Speaker reads, what are you saying? I do have a car. I do have an automobile. So, this is the emphatic do. Right? So we use it sometimes like that. So you don't like running? I say you're wrong. I do like to run every day. You see what I'm saying? So that's sometimes how we use do. And I gave you the example of how to use do called the emphatic do. Alright? So I think that answers both of those questions. Now what you want to do is, Shrikant, is check out the grammar part of my course. I think I might have something to help you with your questions here. Let me go over, let me just see for a minute here. Give me a quick second. Okay, let me go over to my website for just a minute. I'm going to show you some lessons that can help you with what you're talking about here. Let me see, I think I might have at least one. I'll have at least one or two lessons to help you. Okay, I'm looking at my online TOEFL course right now, right? So I'm going to give you some advice here. So number one, let's go to the grammar section of my course quickly. So I'm going to go over to the grammar section right here. We'll see which one I think might be helpful for you. This one, you had a question about the, right? So grammar lesson number 20. This will help you with your articles a, and the. And then let me see if I have one on modals. Modals are very complicated. I may or may not have a lesson in this area. I don't think I have one there. So let me go to Google. Okay, I'm going to go to Google here. Give me a quick second here. If I find a good website on modals, I'll put the link in here. Let me see if I can find a good website here. Oh, this is pretty good. So it gives you some examples of how to use modals, and you can also take a quiz. So how about this? Shrikant. Wait a minute. You can't see what I'm saying here. Okay, so I'm finding right now, I found a website that talks about modals that I think can be helpful. So let me go ahead and I'm going to put this link here. I'm going to put this over in the live chat for you so you can review this a little bit. Okay, I'm going to do this right now. So to learn okay, there it is, Shrikant. It says to learn more about modals, go here. Okay, give me a quick second. Somebody's knocking at my door here. I'll be right back. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, it was just somebody dropping off a package. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's go back to this question here. What I'm doing now, I'm going to go over to my website, an online TOEFL course. I'm going to find the comment that I was referring to a minute ago. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, let's see what we have.
Millions of students and English language learners who want to try.
Okay, let me look at this here. Give me a quick second. Okay, here we go. So let's find this question. So I'm scrolling down. Here it is. I got it. So it says, I am so happy to find your website. I have to pass TOEFL exam. Actually, I want 80 and more score. There's no limit of time, but I'm lost. I don't know from where I should start, how I can communicate with you to improve my English language and my accent. Please, what would you suggest? All right, so my first thing is, let me reply to her for a minute. I'm going to send her something. My first suggestion actually, I'm going to ask her a question. So have you taken the TOEFL exam before? If you have, what is your overall score? Including listening, speaking, and writing sections. This is really one of the first things I recommend my students. If this person has not taken the TOEFL before, then he or she should take a full-length 5-hour TOEFL practice test. So I'm just going to give her these comments. This is probably the best thing I can do is, number one, what's her score right now? She wants to get 80, so I have to figure out right now where she is. What is her English abilities right now?
Millions of students annually take the TOEFL exam to demonstrate their academic English language proficiency.
Okay, so I have that. I think there's one more comment on this here. Nisha, please check your email, evaluate my pronunciation. I'm gonna make a quick comment for her. I listened to and evaluated your pronunciation pretest by email. We're done with that.
Millions of students annually take the TOEFL exam to demonstrate.
So then Tina says here, so I've gotten a lot of information from here. Tina says, I need TOEFL IBT at least 83, no specific requirements, but I have just done the PBT. I got only 467. I think my level is less than intermediate now. I'm so sad, but I have unlimited time for studying and preparing for the IBT. Okay, so I have a suggestion for her. Let me send her a quick message. After you take the practice test, please let me know how you do. To reach your target score of 83. So we have it here. So I'm going to just send this information to my website. So I'm going to make sure I have this right. First of all, I suggest that you complete a full-length IBT practice test so you can see what your current academic English language abilities are. I partner with ScoreNexus, a website offering TOEFL IBT practice tests. After you take the practice test, please let me know how you do, including telling me your overall score and subtotals in the reading, listening, speaking, and writing sections. Then, I can recommend a specific plan to help you reach your target score of 83. Here is the information on how you can buy a 5-hour full-length. Nobody wants to do it. It's as boring as all heck. But let's face it. If you don't know what your TOEFL score is, you should take a practice test. This is important because how do you know what you need to do? You have to, if you take the practice test, then you can see how well you did on the reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And remember, during the speaking and writing, we also have to see how you're doing on the independent and the integrated tasks. So the 5-hour practice test will give me that information. Of course, you can take the TOEFL exam and spend $200 and get the same information, but I recommend my students do a practice test because it only costs about $30. They can save $170 and get the same information. And they get the results back in about 3 days. They don't have to wait 2 or 3 weeks. So how to buy a 5-hour full-length TOEFL IBT practice test. So I'm going to put this in here. Okay, so let's do this. There's one area in my website where I tell students about the practice test. I would sell them at my website if I had them, but I don't know how to do it. So the company I partner with, their TOEFL practice tests are very realistic. They look exactly like the TOEFL, the same difficulty, and they get feedback on all 6 speaking and both of the writing tasks. That's why I like this website. So I'm going to give this information to the student now, and the student can type in a discount. So I'm going to put this in there too. Okay, let's go back. I'm going to go ahead and let's go back to my website right here. Okay, here it is. Okay, we got it. Now put this down here. Okay, now I'm going to give this information to Tina. All right, so she'll get that information.
Millions of students annually take the TOEFL.
Let's see what the comment looks like posted. Hopefully it's not all messed up. The only problem is, let me do a quick edit here. Edit. If I say first of all, I should probably say second of all. Am I right? Yeah, it's going to be better. Okay, I wanted to put, if I said first of all, then I should follow that up with second of all. That way the student can see how the ideas are connected.
Millions of students annually take the TOEFL exam to
Okay, so I just gave that student my comments. You guys can also see it over at YouTube, right? If you went to that link. There we go, we're good. So now let's move on. Shrikant says, hey, Madhu is followed. You want to say, I wouldn't say is followed. If you put is, you have to say following. You want to put be plus ing. You say note full template videos. Funny. Yeah, Madhu, be careful. You want to be careful about using templates, especially during the speaking and the writing sections of the test. If the IBT people think that you're following a template, you will get a very, very low score, so be careful about that. I do not recommend templates. I tell my students not to follow templates. They should be using their actual English to help them organize their ideas. All right, that would be my advice on that. You can do what you do. Let me know what happens. All right, let's move ahead. Okay, I'm going to my email again. Let's keep going. I'm skipping that one. The next one, it looks like somebody wants me to score an independent writing practice test. I'm going to send this over to my teaching assistant to actually score. So we'll do that. Let me keep going. Speaking practice, here we go. Are you guys going to love this one? Wow. Here is somebody who has really, honestly, the best pronunciation. A lot of my students are wanting to know, they say, Michael, what kind of tone do I need to have during the speaking section? So you guys at YouTube are very lucky. You're going to hear somebody whose speaking score is 28 points out of 30. She's already taken the Toefl. I know what her speaking score is. Now she's preparing for the TOEIC exam for business English. She wants to get a high score on that. So I'm helping her a little bit with her TOEFL speaking there.
Hi Michael, this is Toefl. As always, thank you very much for evaluating my speaking practice, which is really helpful. I really appreciate it.
I love that. I love that voice. You guys hearing that? Okay, now let me talk to her. Yeah, hi there, Coma Top, and I am Michael, and I'm going to listen to your TOEIC speaking practice for January 16th, and let's see how you're doing with this one. So as I listen to it, evaluation criteria is pronunciation, intonation, grammar, vocabulary, cohesion, relevance of content, completeness of content. So if I notice any problems in any of those areas, I will definitely give you feedback. All right, so let's see how you did.
Before recording my next speaking practice, can I ask a quick question about the Voxelpop website?
Yes.
I'm referring to the website where we can post our recording.
Correct.
It is working right now. Actually, since last week, I cannot see anything except the error message.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. Just email me. VoxyPop, it works for a few days, a few weeks, and then mysteriously it disappears and it has problems. So I cannot guarantee anything at VoxyPop. It's not my website, so I do not know what is happening with VoxyPop.
Anyway, I'm gonna record my speaking practice from now.
All right.
Let's get started.
Okay, so you're answering the question, what are the advantages of having a repair agency repair your house?
Okay, as far as I'm concerned, there are some advantages to getting some help from repair agencies. First of all, they are professionals. So
Now you're saying repair agencies, but remember you're talking about your house. So again, you probably need to be a little bit more clear in the beginning. So you're going to say, well, there are some advantages of having an agency, a repair agency, repair my house.
they can find the right solution right away. The last time I had a clogged kitchen sink, I tried some simple repairs by myself, which took more than 3 hours. Unfortunately, however, it didn't work out well, and the drain ended up being completely blocked by oil and other liquids.
Okay.
I think that was
And that word, other liquids.
that was one of the most unpleasant misfortunes for my house. I decided to call a repair agency nearby, and the guy from the agency fixed this problem only in half an hour. Secondly, they can provide us with some useful information.
Now, once you said they fixed the problem in a half an hour, then you said, well, therefore, the repair agency is able to save me a lot of time that I would have wasted in trying to fix the problem myself. So you could even say this, say, hey, if I hadn't tried to fix the problem myself, if I had called the agency first before trying to fix a problem, I would have saved 3 hours of my own time. How about that? You could probably say something like that. So you do need, after you make that statement, you need to tie it back to how how it will help you save more time.
On house chores to prevent further problems from happening.
Okay?
The repair person I mentioned earlier gave me some tips to keep a kitchen clean after getting the job done.
Now good. Now what I like what you're doing here, Comatop, is you're staying with the same example, right? You're really spending detail time, explaining the advantages of having the repair agency come and fix the clogged sink and even prevent future problems from happening. So this is a very well developed example that you're giving. Now for TOEIC here, you're taking about 2 minutes to answer this question.
I didn't know anything about it before, so his advice was very helpful. In summary, there are definitely some advantages having repair agency repair our houses.
Instead of just saying that, say in summary, having repair agencies repair my house can help me save time and can prevent this problem from occurring in the future, which is definitely an advantage in my opinion. So when you restate it at the end, you can go back to the two support points that you're trying to argue in the response itself. So, evaluation criteria, not really any problems with pronunciation, intonation, a little bit of trouble with the word liquids, a little bit of trouble there. Grammar was good, vocabulary pretty good, everything was connected together, but I gave you some suggestions on how you can maybe connect things together a little bit better. So I did give you some comments to help you with cohesion. You had good relevance of content and completeness of content. So overall, a pretty good score. And thank you for completing that. Did you guys hear that at YouTube? Now this was a 2-minute response for TOEIC, right? But this student has already scored 28 points in the speaking. How about that? And her TOEFL speaking score is right around 110. And guess what? She's from Japan, and speakers in Japan, they do not learn intonation easily. It takes a lot of practice because English and Japanese have very different intonation patterns, and you just listen to a student who has mastered the intonation of American English. How about that? Think about that for a minute. Wow. It's crazy. This is really one of the best students I've ever had for TOEFL speaking right here. Okay, let me go ahead and send her some comments quickly. There it is. All right, I go to the next one. Now, be careful, Shrikant. You said if you follow the templates, then the score goes down because I didn't cross more than 14 in the speaking section. But remember, Shrikant, I'm going to comment on yours. Now, part of your problem right now, it's not just your organization, but you're having some language use issues that you have to solve. That means you have vocabulary problems, you're having some grammatical problems, and you also have pronunciation problems that you have to solve. So your problems, Shrikant, are not limited to just templates. There's a whole bunch of different things that you're working on right now in my course. Am I right? Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let me go back to the next one here. So I just sent a message. I'm going to check out, see any more speaking I need to grade here. Okay, let me keep going here. Okay, I'm going to answer his question later. Okay, here's speaking right here. We got one more here, so let me talk to this student. Okay, here's integrated speaking practice number 12, it looks like.
The lecture explains.
Okay, we got it. Now let me talk to this guy. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Marcelo, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a Toefl IBT. And I'm going to listen to actually your integrated speaking here. So let's see how well you did here.
The lecture explains opinions about the budget closure days. First of all, budget closure days are some days which the university closes. So the one opinion about that is that it is.
But why does it close? It closes in order to save money during a tight time financially, right? So the university is trying to cut back and decrease funds because of the budget problems. So they're saving money by closing down certain days or class days.
It's not fair because students are paying tuition to receive education, and they will not receive that with budget closure days.
They would not receive that instruction on those budget closure days according to the speaker.
That without budget closure days, they will need to pay a double tuition each semester. But according to the other opinion, I think that that's not really a bad idea because they can use budget closure days to study or do some homework. In my opinion, I think that it is good to have budget closure days because in general, students need more time to study and prepare for the exams, and specifically to review some topics they are having difficulty.
Okay, we got it. Now let's take a look here at what we have. So I'm going to go over to my website. Let's click on the links. So for integrated speaking. Okay, so Marcella, I think overall you did a pretty good job with delivery, language use, overall pretty good control of your vocabulary and your grammar. Topic development, I think you had a little bit of trouble in there. For example, one area you could have said something like this. Well, according to the man, if they hadn't had the budget closure days, they would have had to pay double the tuition than they're paying. You know, you could have probably said it like that if you're talking about the past and possible condition. So some limitations with your grammar in explaining some of the information. So that's something I noticed as you were completing it. But overall, I think you had a pretty complete response. I'm going to put you at about 23 to 24 points out of 30, 3.0 to 3.1 out of 4. All right? Thank you. I think we're okay here. I think we're good there. I'm going to go ahead and send a quick email. Okay, I'm just sending an email over to Marcelo so he will get my comments over there. Let's say, Shrikant, you say, can you email me the 28 level speaking practice, which you had just graded right now? Yes, send me a quick email and I will send that to you. So just say, Michael, can you send me the speaking 28 that you just did? Send that to me by email and I will do that. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's see, I'm going to my next practice test. So email me your speaking practice test. Yeah, anybody who's taken the Toefl test, there's really two bits of advice I want to give you guys. Number one, make sure when you're completing your speaking practice test that you have a Toefl IBT speaking specialist listen and comment on them, just like I'm doing right now. And you want to do the same thing with your writing. When you're doing an independent or integrated writing practice test, you want to make sure that a human being reads it, scores it, and comments on it. And that will really help you, I promise, for your upcoming Toefl exam. All right, let's keep going. Let me go to the next one here. Okay, so Marcelo completed independent writing practice test number 5. I'm going to send this over to my teaching assistant to grade right now. Because today I'm on vacation. This is Martin Luther King holiday. What am I doing? I'm working right now, but I need to finish, right? As soon as I'm finished, I'm going to take my son. We're going to go to an amusement park and have some fun. In fact, let me tell him to get ready. Okay, so let me see Shrikant. I'm going to try to find that. Speaking right now. Okay, Shrikant, I'm answering your email right now. I'm sending you the speaking for January 28th, the student who has 28 out of 30 on the speaking, so you can listen to it. Check your email. We'll be there in just a minute. Okay, then I'll go to my next practice test. Okay, give me a quick second. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to talk to my son for a second. Okay, I'm coming back right now. Okay, Shrikant, check your email. I just sent you your information. Yeah, I just emailed it to you right now. Okay, so Shahad just did integrated writing practice test number 3. So I'm going to send this over to my teaching assistant to score. Okay, I'm going to keep going. See if we can find another speaking practice test I need to grade. Got one right here. Here we go. So this is integrated speaking practice test number 5.
Tetsuya Theodore Fujita was a pioneer in the study of tornadoes and those in Tetsuya.
Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Luis, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. So let's listen to your integrated speaking practice test number 5. So if I remember correctly, this one is reading, listening, academic. Am I right?
Tetsuya Theodore Fujita was a pioneer in the study of Tetsuya Theodore Fujita was a pioneer in the study of tornadoes and those in passage provides additional information about Fujita's contributions.
Good. I like the introduction. So the reading and the listening passage are discussing contributions of Theodore Fujita that he made to the field of meteorology. So you have a pretty good introduction.
First of all, the reading discusses the importance of Fujita's work. According to the author, Fujita introduced the concept for tornado families. The author elaborates on the subject by mentioning that he brought on concept.
Elaborates. I like that. By mentioning. Very good grammar. I like how you're doing this.
Thunderstorms architecture and terms like wall cloud and tape cloud.
Okay.
In addition, the author points out that Fujita mapped Palm Sunday 1965 tornado outbreak using his new concept of tornado families. Secondly, in the listening passage, the professor expands the information. First, Fujita created a system that links text
Expands on the information by explaining more contributions.
to wind speed, which he used to analyze and describe the intensities of 148 tornadoes. Additionally, Fujita trained many meteorology students who are now leaders. Also, his easy-to-understand concept have improved public education. Furthermore, in 1970, Fujita identified factors in the super outbreak, downbursts and microbursts. Today, scientists distinguish between tornado-related and unrelated damage, such as downbursts and microbursts, which might be caused by dry air.
Which might be not caused, but caused by dry air. I liked it. You had a good organization here, Luis. So overall, in the beginning, you stated the main point of the reading and the listening. Then you moved on to the contributions that the reading discussed, then what was discussed in the listening. So overall, I think this is a pretty good response. The only problem, if you scored lower, it might be because of delivery, but I think that your language use and your topic development were very strong in this one. So with your delivery, you can definitely work a little bit more on your intonation. Make sure that you vary your tone a little more than you are. you can go to my pronunciation lessons 36 through 40 to learn more about that. And one other area is your pausing. Sometimes you have the tendency to speak a little bit too quickly. Make sure after a sentence you have a pause, then you move on to a new idea there, and it'll make it a little easier to concentrate on your ideas. Your score here, I think it's pretty good. If you didn't get 26 or higher, it might be because of delivery. I'm going to put you at about 23 to 24 points out of 30, 3.0 to 3.1 out of 4. All right, thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send him comments. And if you guys listen to this at YouTube, this was a very organized response, what you just heard. So I liked how he presented the information from the reading and the listening passage. But like I said, he's got to work a little bit more in his intonation and also his pacing. I think both of those areas he can do a little bit better job in. Okay, let me send him. Okay, I'm going to send him a quick message. So Madhu, you are in Minneapolis, so how is the weather up there? It must be pure white. You guys get a lot of snow right now? One of my brothers lived in Fargo, North Dakota. He was out there for about 7 years, and wow, they got a lot of snow. I'm sure that Minneapolis also gets a lot of snow in Minnesota, am I right? So what do you got? I mean, if you're to tell them, is it like 6 inches, 7 inches, approximately how much snow do you have? Okay, give me a quick second here. Okay, I'm going to send this student a quick email. So this student did writing practice test number 1. I'm going to have my teaching assistant read and score that. Let me keep going. Okay, we got more speaking practice here. Okay, let's see what we have. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, give me a quick second here. So one of my students is doing Speak Clearly lesson number 36, intonation. Wow, this is going to be a good one. Let's see how he's doing in this area. See if I can download this one right now. The main thing in English is when you're doing your intonation, you don't want to just talk like this the whole time. My name is Michael. I live in Oak Hills, California. I've been teaching TOEFL preparation now for the last 22 years. If you speak like that during the speaking section of the TOEFL, you're not going to get a very good score. Okay, I'm downloading it, I think. But it's not letting me click on it. Okay, I think here, I'm going to go ahead and finish at this point. So I could be here all day, I'd never get done. Okay, I've done a lot of work today already, so I think I'm going to go ahead and conclude this live stream video at YouTube. So everybody at YouTube, thank you for watching. I got to go. Good luck to everybody. And especially good luck to Madhu Kumari. I know that you're taking the Toefl test soon, so hopefully you will reach the score that you need and you will get the required subtotals that you need in the reading, listening, speaking, and writing sections.